On his last day of middle school, Rentarô Aijô confesses his feelings to a girl. He politely asks her out, and she, in a shy tone, replies that she likes him too. She praises his cheerful, kind, and friendly nature, but all of a sudden her tone shifts, as she adds that the idea of dating him makes her want to puke. This rejection makes the 100th time that Rentarô Aijô had been turned down by a girl. Later, with a friend, Rentarô laments his fate. His 100 rejection streak earns him the title of Sir Flirts-a-Lot by his friend, adding insult to injury. His friend asks how he even managed to get 100 rejections, to which Rentarô explains that he was 8 months old when he first asked the girl out. Glossing over that reply, the friend wonders why Rentarô, despite being nice, athletic, and good-looking, is still single. He goes to a shrine and prays for a girlfriend, and a god appears and tells him his destiny. According to him, Rentarô will meet the chick he's destined to be with in high school. Depressed and hopeless, Rentarô takes the word chick to mean chick fillet, earning a bizarre reaction from the god, who calls Rentarô a ghoul from Tokyo. After clarifying himself and explaining the concept of soulmates, the god drops a bombshell. Rentarô will not just have one soulmate, but a whopping 100 in high school, each head over heels for him. Guy must have been a saint in his previous life to be this lucky. On the first day of high school, Rentarô collides with two girls, Hakari Hanazono and Karane Inda, both declared as his soulmates, sparking a fierce competition for his affection. Confused and overwhelmed, Rentarô seeks guidance from the god at the shrine, who confesses to a clerical error. Instead of one soulmate, Rentarô ended up with 100. Stuck between Hakari and Karane, he faces a dilemma. Any soulmate not in a relationship with him is doomed to die. Contemplating the possibility of secretly dating both, Rentarô rejects the idea. Eventually, he gathers the courage to ask both girls to be his girlfriends simultaneously, a proposition they surprisingly agree to. Thrilled that his 100 rejection streak had come to an end, Rentarô finds himself with two girlfriends simultaneously. Bursting with excitement, he enthusiastically shares his joy with a telephone pole until Hakari and Karane stroll by, acknowledging his odd behavior. Rentarô explains that he's overjoyed now that he has his first girlfriend. Karane, struggling to convey her emotions like the tsundere she is, tells Rentarô that she's available to talk if he's desperate enough to resort to a pole. Meanwhile, Hakari smoothly grabs Rentarô's hand, leaving him flustered. To balance the equation, Rentarô proceeds to take hold of Karane's hand, and although she pretends indifference, she blushes like a tomato. Upon reaching school, they witness a woman chasing a student, revealed by Hakari to be the infamously strict vice principal. Karane chimes in too, and they both explain that if she catches a student breaking rules, she'll chase them to the ends of the world, and French kiss them as punishment. How is that even legal? Straight to jail, do not collect $200. While on the topic, Hakari asks Rentarô if he's ever kissed someone before, causing Karane's ears to prick up with curiosity as well. Rentarô confesses that he's never kissed anyone, since he's never had a girlfriend before. The realization excites both Hakari and Karane, each contemplating the possibility of being Rentarô's first kiss. During lunch, the trio is sitting together, and Hakari makes her first move. She pulls out snacks that conveniently have their ends snapped off. Using a pocky stick, she inches ever closer to a kiss by feeding Rentarô from one end. The flustered Karane, witnessing this happen, jumps in but ends up accidentally jamming the stick into Rentarô's eye. Their fierce competition continues, leading Rentarô to come up with an elaborate game that allows him to kiss them both without revealing who received the first kiss. Despite multiple attempts, the plan proves to be too complicated, as things keep going awry. Rentarô contemplates surrendering his first kiss to the lascivious vice principal, only for the girls to insist that they'd rather have the other receive it than waste it. In the end, the three agreed to a three-way kiss. Rentarô crosses paths with his third soulmate, the reserved Shizuka Yoshimoto, a girl who communicates solely by pointing to words in a book. Looks like Komi has some competition. Their fated meeting takes place in the school library, where a shared interest in a book sparks an immediate connection, sending an electric rush through both of them the moment they lock their eyes. Shizuka, the school librarian, becomes visibly excited when Rentarô asks for book recommendations. He tells her his favorite genre is romance, and Shizuka's face lights up and she runs around looking and collecting books that fit Rentarô's description. Overwhelmed by her enthusiasm, she gathers an impressive stack of books, embarrassed by her fervor. Rentarô, however, moved by her hard work, tells her that he wants to borrow and read all of these books. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a library card, and the new one will take some time to be issued. In a gesture of kindness, Shizuka loans him her favorite book, and as they introduce themselves, they discover that they're also classmates. Rentaro finishes the entire book in one night, and the next day, Shizuka brings him the sequel to the book. To offer his thanks, Rentaro buys her a drink from the vending machine and they bond over the book. However, as days pass, Shizuka watches Rentaro interact with Hakari and Karane, leading her to succumb to self-pity. Understanding Shizuka's communication struggles, Rentaro proposes a solution. He asks her to install a text-to-speech app on her phone. She's basically a real-life Siri, but way cuter. To express his gratitude for her kindness, Rentaro sends her a file containing the entire text file of the book, enabling her to speak without averting eye contact. Shizuka realizes the effort Rentaro must have put into manually transcribing the book, as it was not available in ebook format. Using the app to talk, she confesses her love for Rentaro. Later on, Rentaro approaches Hakari and Karane, requesting their consent for Shizuka to become his third girlfriend. He vows to commit seppuku if he cannot fulfill the role of a good boyfriend to all three of them. Rentaro introduces his new girlfriend, Shizuka, to Hakari and Karane. From her love of books to her communication through quotes from her favorite book. The initial exchange is marked by curiosity, with Hakari and Karane wondering about Shizuka's personality. However, the shock sets in when Shizuka communicates through her phone, leading them to consider her quirky. In an attempt to break the ice, Rentaro praises each girl's cute habits that he adores, leaving them flustered. During the usual competition for Rentaro's attention between Karane and Hakari, Rentaro notices Shizuka sitting quietly. Understanding her initial discomfort, he decides to help her integrate into the group. To remedy this, Rentaro suggests a game of Old Maid, with the added twist that the loser will be tickled by the winner. In his mind, the best way to make someone reveal their true feelings is through laughter, hoping it'll bring the group closer and lead to friendship. The girls, however, interpret the penalty differently and eagerly agree to the game, excited at the idea of being tickled by Rentaro. Is that even a penalty if all of them want to lose? Rentaro wins the first 3 rounds, with each round leaving a different girl as the loser. Surprisingly, the girls find losing to be a win, relishing the idea of the penalty. Each one of them enjoyed being tickled though. Hakari seemed to have enjoyed it a bit too much. Shizuka wins the 4th round, opting for a gentler approach by simply poking Rentaro. Sensing tension between Karane and Shizuka, Rentaro steps aside, giving the girl space to talk and resolve any concerns. During their conversation, Karane firmly scolds Shizuka, telling her that she doesn't need to hold back, emphasizing that Rentaro loves each of them equally. When Rentaro returns, Shizuka, now more at ease, expresses her readiness for a kiss with him. The test results have been posted, but Rentaro realizes he left his phone unlocked in the classroom and rushes back to get it. Inside, he encounters a girl working alone. He asks her if she's going to see her test results, but the girl coldly replies that they're meaningless to her, since she already knows she'd have the top score. As their eyes meet, an electric shock courses through their bodies, revealing that they are soulmates. Rentaro meets his 4th soulmate, Nano Ei, the school's brilliant and seemingly emotionless top performer, rumored to be an AI robot. Imagine being so smart that people think you're ChatGPT's little sister. Paired up for a biology lab, Rentaro observes Nano's elegance and beauty, distinct from the other girls who are cute beyond belief. Despite repeated attempts to connect, Nano remains focused on efficiency, deeming fun as insignificant. However, when night falls, she struggles with overwhelming thoughts about Rentaro, leading to frustration. The next day, she coldly confesses her love and desire to be in a relationship with him, only to reject him when he accepts, as she wants to put an end to her feelings. Baffled by this contradiction, Rentaro proposes a date to prove himself. A few days later, they visit an amusement park together. Nano remains unimpressed by the attractions, keeping up her emotionless demeanor and just sitting through them, unbothered. At the end of the day, she labels all the experiences as illogical, accepting that although she had fun, she gained nothing. Rentaro challenges this idea by attempting to burn the photos he took during the date. Nano grabs the photos, breaks down in tears, and shares a kiss with Rentaro. Upon Hakari's suggestion, Rentaro and the girls decide on a visit to an indoor water park. Excitement fills the air as they anticipate their date. Meanwhile, Karane sets out on a shopping quest to find the perfect swimsuit for their date, grappling with self-consciousness as it's her first pool outing with a guy. Disliking every swimsuit that she came across for being too cutesy, she eventually selects one thinking that Rentaro might like it. Arriving at the water park, Rentaro is captivated by the swimsuits the girls are wearing. However, he notices Karane's absence and finds her wrapped in a towel, claiming to feel chilly. She encourages the others to proceed without her while she sits on a sunbench. Shizuka finds herself caught in a whirlpool due to her inability to swim. Meanwhile, Rentarô experiences a nosebleed-induced fainting while being forced to take part in Nano and Hakari's little feminine competition. The girls attempt mouth-to-mouth resuscitation but end up flustered. Unable to perform the act on him, they decide to seek assistance from a male lifeguard, only to be met by 3 perverts. One of them tries to grab Hakari's arm, but Nano steps in and swiftly disposes of him. Simultaneously, Rentarô awakens and confronts the perverts, demanding they leave his girlfriends alone. The situation escalates until both Hakari and Nano kiss Rentarô, startling the perverts into leaving. How to handle perverts? I guess just flex on them. Turns out that it was Karane who helped Rentarô wake up. He rushes to save Shizuka from the whirlpool. Shizuka calls out for help, but when her phone runs out of charge, she musters the courage to call out to Rentarô with her own voice. As the day unfolds, Rentarô realizes that Karane is insecure about her body, and made up the excuse of feeling chilly. He takes the opportunity to compliment and reassure her, culminating in a comforting hug. Rentarô encounters his 5th soulmate, but instantly lacks the chance to talk to her. The following day, he returns to the chemistry lab, discovering the intriguing Kusuri Yakuzen. Kusuri offers him a flask of tea and proceeds to showcase an array of drugs she has invented. Attempting to leave, Rentarô finds himself unable to resist Kusuri's insistence that he sip the tea and await the person he's looking for. Kusuri unveils her latest creation, a human magnet drug that temporarily magnetizes individuals. Rentarô becomes an unwitting subject for the experiment. You could say she was trying to attract him. Literally. Later, Kusuri reveals that she had added a love potion to the tea because she fell in love with him at first sight. Rentarô attempts to rid himself of the love potion by puking it out, but the drug starts taking effect, overwhelming him. Kusuri administers a neutralizer, clearing the drug from his system. To Rentaro's surprise, Kusuri then reveals her true appearance and confesses again, explaining that a failed immortality drug transformed her into a small girl, and she can only revert for less than an hour. Recognizing Kusuri as his third-year chemistry club president and true soulmate, Rentarô reciprocates her confession. Upon meeting the other girls, Kusuri gifts them with an assortment of drugs based on Rentaro's descriptions. She then serves cookies and 2 flasks of tea, one for Rentarô and one for the girls. However, a misunderstanding leads the girls to believe that the large flask is intended for them. Too late to realize it, the girls end up drinking the tea that was spiked with a substance aimed at making Rentarô want to kiss Kusuri. And then all hell breaks loose. Rentarô and Kusuri desperately attempt to reach the chemistry lab to concoct enough antidote for the other 4 girls, who, in a zombie-like state, are relentlessly pursuing Rentarô for a kiss. The girls split into 2 groups in an attempt to pincer them, with Shizuka taking the lead in chasing Rentarô. As the girls are exclusively attempting to kiss him, Rentarô and Kusuri decide to split up as well. Shizuka in her pursuit stumbles and falls, leading Rentarô to rush to her aid and carry her to the nurse's office. After providing first aid, Shizuka pulls him into a kiss, but Rentarô somehow manages to resist and ingeniously hangs her up on a clothes hanger and makes his escape. It seemed like he didn't want to hang out with her. Yeah, I'll go. Hakari and Karane then join the chase, working as a team to catch Rentarô. Karane grabs Hakari and catapults her towards Rentarô. They catch him and take turns kissing him, but eventually start arguing. Their quarrel allows Rentarô to escape by making them inadvertently kiss each other. Upon reaching the chemistry lab, Rentarô discovers that Nano has outpaced him. Finding Kusuri hiding in a nearby locker, Rentarô realizes that Nano, even as a kiss zombie, has retained her intelligence. Witnessing all of this unfold, Kusuri breaks down in tears, promising to cease making drugs due to their unintended consequences that end up hurting people. In an attempt to bypass Nano, Kusuri ages herself up, but her plan is soon exposed. Nano closes in on Rentarô and captures him, kissing him repeatedly. Kusuri arrives with an antidote. She administers the antidote to the other girls, resulting in Hakari and Karane being embarrassed, claiming no recollection of the events. Kusuri apologizes for the chaotic situation, but Rentarô assures her that her passion for chemistry is one of the many reasons he loves her, and that he'll continue loving her even if she keeps creating drugs. Hakari extends an invitation to the others for an event at a nearby park, featuring a bouquet toss competition where the winner secures a photo with their special someone. The Gorira Syndicate motorcycle gang participates, causing Rentarô and the girls to collaborate in catching the bouquet. Shizuka secures the bouquet toss for the newly dubbed Rentarô family, and Hakari wins a chopstick lottery to determine who will wear the dress for the photo. All the girls are invited to join in the picture. However, after the festivities, Hakari shocks Rentarô by asking him to end their relationship. Curious and concerned, he follows her to her home, where Hakari reveals that her mother, Hakari, has discovered Rentaro's involvement with all the girls and plans to transfer Hakari to a new school. Hakari warns Hakari to obey her commands and distance herself from Rentaro, threatening dire consequences otherwise. In the aftermath, Rentaro, grappling with the situation, decides to take a bold step. Wandering through town, he makes a daring choice to break into the Hanazono mansion to rescue Hakari. To his surprise and relief, the other girls decide to join forces to defy Hakari's intentions. Doesn't sound like a smart plan to break into a rich person's house who literally threatened to make you disappear, but hey, what do I know? Rentaro and the girls set out on a covert mission to infiltrate the Hanazono residence and rescue Hakari. Despite their attempts to reach her through phone calls and signals from outside, Hakari remains nowhere to be found. Upon using a pet door to get in, the group sneaks past the guards and roaming pets within the mansion. Facing a hurdle from the infrared sensors, Kusuri steps up and offers a drug she planned to send to a pharmaceutical company as part of a research application. The concoction allows Rentaro and Karane to cross the sensors undetected, while the rest of the group waits outside. The duo proceeds toward Hakari's room, but triggers an alarm, leading to their capture. An alarm in your daughter's room. Come on, what is this, a prison? Rentaro attempts to appeal to Hakari. However, Hakari, motivated by her own past heartbreak, strictly refuses, wanting to shield Hakari from the pain she experienced. Hakari shares her own story, and as Rentaro's eyes well up with tears, the drug washes off. With his eyes returning to their normal state, he locks eyes with Hakari, sparking the familiar electric connection. The sixth soulmate is none other than Hakari's mother, Hakari. Hakari, determined to gauge Rentaro's sincerity, subjects him to a lie detector test. Rentaro successfully clears the pest trial. Their confrontation is interrupted when a maid informs Hakari that Hakari is attempting to jump out of a window. Seizing the opportunity, Karane takes Hakari hostage, giving Rentaro the chance to rush to Hakari's aid. He manages to dissuade Hakari from jumping, but the fear sets in, leaving her unable to climb back inside. Hakari slips, and in a daring attempt to save her, Rentaro grabs her hand. They both end up falling, and Rentaro redirects their fall into a fountain. As Karane and Hakari witness the scene, it's crystal clear that Rentaro's love for Hakari is genuine. Realizing that Rentaro is committed to making Hakari happy, Hakari concedes. She formally asks Rentaro to take care of her daughter, but he promises to take care of both of them. This man is too dangerous to be left alive. Rentaro's acceptance of Hakari's earlier confession shocks the other girls. Hakari extends an invitation for Rentaro and the girls to stay the night at the mansion. After a bath, the girls don pajamas, and the overwhelming cuteness causes Hakari to have a nosebleed. Rentaro accompanies her to treat her nosebleed. The girls hear a sudden scream from Hakari's room, startling them and leading them to believe that Hakari is taking the initiative. However, they find Rentaro dressed as a girl, causing him to faint in embarrassment. Prince Nano revives him with a kiss, and Rentaro, feeling embarrassed, heads to the bath. This is beginning to seem exactly like a What Bad Girls daydream. The girls, eager to catch a glimpse of Rentaro, follow him to the bathhouse. Shizuka, unwilling to join them, gets tied up, preventing her from intervening. Failing to see anything through the bathhouse window, the group ventures into the attic. Meanwhile, Shizuka, determined to stop them, rolls her way to the bathhouse, getting pushed into the water by the Hanazono's dog. In an accidental exposure, Rentaro is seen by Shizuka. Karane unintentionally reveals their peeping intentions to Rentaro, who promptly lectures them. Later that night, Rentaro finds Hakari at an altar for Hakari's late father, calming her fears of unfaithfulness and sharing a kiss with her. As Rentaro wanders the mansion alone, he encounters the ghost of Hakari's father, who expresses gratitude for helping Hakari move on and making Hakari happy before ascending to heaven. The following morning, Rentaro and the girls discover that Hakari bought out the school to become the new chairwoman, to spend more time with Rentaro. And that's the end of the video. As always, if you liked what you saw, subscribe to the channel. I'll be uploading a lot of videos just like this, so I'll see you at the next one. God, these harem animes are getting out of hand.